All right, guys, real quick before this episode of the podcast starts, I wanted to let you all know, in case you're wondering, yes, this episode is going to sound a bit different because I'm using some different post-processing effects. Still looking for the post-processing that works the best. And I think this might be the post-processing thing that I use. I think this might be the post-processing that I'm going to use for my podcast episodes. To me, this sounds the best, but I could be wrong. And if there are any audio engineers in the audience, please let me know what I can do. Please. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Please, help me. Help me. No. So hopefully this episode sounds good anyway. Hopefully the episode sounds good, and hopefully it's not super over-processed, because I kind of feel like I over-processed this one a bit, but hopefully it's not too overly processed. But hey, I'll figure it out sooner or later. So yes, and as I'll state in the episode later, this is going to be an audio-only podcast episode because I didn't feel like dragging out my camera. Plus, I didn't have the time to. So I just made it easy on myself, and maybe the rest of you as well, and I just did an audio-only podcast. But I did the customary audio waveform kind of thing, so you guys would have something to watch if you're on YouTube, for those of you on YouTube. So, with that being said, let's get on to the episode. All right, everyone, welcome back to the Anything and Everything podcast, episode 21, or, as it's commonly said in those very, very dark corners, covered in cobwebs, dusty and shit, those corners of the internet.
21.
Yes, that meme, or may, or however you may say it, which I don't care about. I just heard that somewhere and thought it was funny. But no. But seriously, welcome back. This is episode 21. Only one more episode till we get to the same age that I am currently, which I don't know if that means anything, but oh well. So, yes. So, as you might be noticing, yes, this is going to be an audio-only episode because, as of right now, as of recording this, it's Friday. Yes, Friday. So, I got a bit of a late start to recording a podcast episode because I've been busy this week with school assignments and college assignments and things of that nature. So, I didn't get a chance to record anything until just today, and I honestly didn't feel like dragging out my camera, hooking that up to do a video portion. So, this will just be an audio portion, because it'll be easier for me, and I'll be able to get it out much quicker. So, but for you guys on YouTube, I will be doing the customary sound wave animation type thing, just so you guys have some sort of visualization to watch on YouTube. So, before I start off my first topic, I guess you could say, I wanted to ask, so, how was everyone's Halloween? Oh, how was my Halloween, you ask? I didn't do a goddamn thing for Halloween. No, seriously, I didn't do a goddamn thing for Halloween. You want to know what I did on Halloween? Do you really want to know what I did on Halloween? No! Well, I'll tell you what I did on Halloween. Nothing. I literally laid in bed and watched a bunch of scary shit. I tried to look up some movies, but I couldn't really find anything that was really any good, to be honest. Like, I actually did. I went through and looked for scary movies and shit to find, but I didn't like what Netflix had. So yeah. So I just looked up some other scary type shit, like crime documentaries and things. So yeah. Plus, I don't think anything that has come out this year or will come out will be able to top It. I think It is pretty much the definitive horror movie for 2017. And I've been curious. Does anyone know how much that actually ended up making back? Does anyone know how much that ended up grossing totally? Last I saw was like a month or two ago where it had grossed like 200 something million or something like that. So I kind of want to see how much it's grossed so far. That'd be interesting. But yes, so that was my Halloween. And I also ate a fuck ton of candy, which is why I'm glad I didn't use the original recording I did of this, the original take. I recorded this earlier, a couple of days ago, but I think I had made the mistake of eating a shit ton of candy, and my blood sugar had spiked to a probably way too high level. So if any of you have ever had like seriously high blood sugar levels, you'll know what that feels like. But nothing dangerous happened to me. And I do think people are right when they say it feels like you're drunk. It literally felt like I was quite drunk. I had flashbacks to New Year's. No, I didn't get that drunk on New Year's. Not as drunk as you might think, because I have limits. Just very boring limits. But yes, so that was my Halloween. The most exciting thing I did was carve a pumpkin. Moving on from that, first I wanted to talk about Black Friday and Cyber Monday, which obviously are still several days away, but I wanted to talk about them anyway. Figured now might be as good a time as any. So, for those of you who are listening from outside the U.S., who probably don't have Black Friday because you're more civilized than we are, Iceland. No, but Black Friday here in the U.S. is basically when pretty much every retail store imaginable comes out with super good deals and cuts their prices and other shit like that. And if any of you outside the U.S. know anything about the U.S., you'll know we're a dirty, rotten, capitalist country. And we love free shit. Well, not free shit, but marked down, low-priced retail deals. If an American can get something for half its original price, you're going to have a lot of people trying to get that thing. Like just the other day, I was in Walmart because I'm from Alabama. There's a Walmart every damn block, pretty much. And so I was at my local Walmart getting some groceries because I quite literally live right fucking next to a Walmart. I live right fucking next to a Walmart. So you can imagine. So I went to do some grocery shopping, and as I'm walking down towards the toiletries, there were these several racks with what I assumed to be $1 to $5 women's clothing, and damn if there weren't half a dozen women going through all of that shit and snatching it off the little racks. I haven't seen that many people at any one place with clothing since I went to the mall during Christmas time, which was a bad idea. Don't wait to go to the mall until Christmas time. There will be so many damn people, you won't be able to fucking breathe. It wasn't that bad, surprisingly. Not as bad as you would think. My mom found some good stuff apparently, but I didn't really give a shit. Meanwhile, I paid $8 for a fucking plaid shirt, which I guess is actually better than if I were to go to the mall and get a plaid shirt. If I were to go to the mall and get a plaid shirt, it'd probably cost me $20-something, which is a ripoff. Black Friday is sort of the same thing, but Black Friday has the name Black Friday for a reason. They call it Black Friday because Black Friday is an annual thing. It happens every year, which is why I don't know why they still do Black Friday, considering all of the horrible shit that's happened. I'm surprised, but they still do it anyway. And it's called Black Friday because every year, every single fucking year they do it, somebody ends up dying. Somebody ends up dead. Either from getting trampled to death, because that happens. I don't have a death wish, so I don't go anywhere on Black Friday. I don't want to fucking die, or get shot, or get stabbed, or any other combination of horrible things. So I just wait till Cyber Monday. That way, I can sit at this fucking computer and then do my shopping, if I like. Which I might do, I don't know. But yes, that's why they call it Black Friday. Somebody ends up dead because they have it in the news. And Black Friday is literally as crazy as it sounds. I'm talking Black Friday looks like, I've seen videos of places like Walmart or malls or stuff like that, where it literally looks like it looks like one of those riots at a soccer stadium and stuff. Like if anybody's ever watched those videos where people start rioting at soccer games and stuff, sports games. It's like that, but yeah, it's pretty much just like that. There's no distinction. It's just like that. People turning into a mob and crushing each other. People doing stupid shit. People throwing shit. People stealing shit. People yelling at each other. And other horrible things. So, yes, that's why they call it Black Friday, because it's that fucking crazy. Which is why I will never do it at all. I don't care. There's nothing that I want that is worth more than my life. I'm serious. There's no retail item that is worth me getting fucking killed over. Okay? So yeah, that's why I do all of my shopping on Cyber Monday. Which I might do, I don't know. When is Cyber Monday again? Is it the Monday after Thanksgiving or whatever? Is it? Yeah, I think that's it. I just remembered earlier today that, it's November, so Thanksgiving is in November. Or at least if you're in the U.S., Thanksgiving is in November. But also Black Friday is in November. And Cyber Monday is in November. So that's what jogged my memory. I just wanted to briefly talk about Black Friday. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was, it'll be slightly, I don't know, it'll be slightly touchy, but I think we've all heard about the, Harvey Weinstein whole thing. Harvey Weinstein, the movie producer, the literal movie producer. So I think we've all heard about that. Actors, actresses, and other people related to the movie industry who have claimed that Harvey Weinstein has either attempted to sexually assault them, actually sexually assaulted them, or sexually harassed them. And basically, old Harvey Weinstein, his career has just been basically ruined. Harvey Weinstein's entire career is basically ruined. No, more actually, Harvey Weinstein's entire life is ruined. Which, I'm just some regular dude. I've never been involved in the film business or film industry, although that does interest me. Although slightly less if that's how people are in the film industry. I'm going to assume not everyone involved in the film industry is a rapist or whatever. I'm going to assume not, because I don't like to generalize. I've never really cared about Harvey Weinstein. I literally don't care about the man at all. As a matter of fact, if Harvey Weinstein has actually done what people claim, that's very fucked up. That's very fucked up because, newsflash, you don't rape women. Raping women is bad. But anybody really? And it makes you look like a crazy son of a bitch. And a desperate son of a bitch, really. Because if you're so desperate for sex that you're willing to rape somebody, you need to be put in a fucking mental hospital. No, seriously, you really do. So yeah, I don't know if the man's actually done what people have said he's done. I don't know if he's a rapist. He could be a rapist. He could not be a rapist. I don't know. I'm kind of erring on the side of I think he is. I do believe a lot of these people. Especially Rose McGowan, who was the former actress. She doesn't do acting anymore, I don't think. Activist, and I think she's head of some kind of organization, I think. Like that, I don't know. I saw something about it, but I can't remember what she does. I would believe her, first of all, before anyone else, because I feel like, one, since Rose McGowan doesn't act anymore, she really has nothing to gain from this. She would have nothing to gain from lying. Plus, why would she accuse Harvey fucking Weinstein, of all people? Because Harvey Weinstein basically runs Hollywood's entire movie industry, or he used to run Hollywood's entire movie industry. But apparently, as far as I know, Harvey Weinstein's been fired from every single position he's ever had. I think he's officially been fired from producing movies now. Unless he starts up his own company. I think they fired him from his own fucking company. He pretty much is unemployed now. I trust Rose McGowan because she has nothing to gain from this, really. I mean, obviously she doesn't care much about fame anymore, otherwise she'd still be acting. So I'm ruling that out. I don't think she cares much about publicity anymore. Otherwise she would have done something for publicity years ago. So I actually do believe her claims that Weinstein actually did whatever he did to her. I'm not sure what that was exactly. I don't know. A lot of the other people who have accused him of all of these things, they're still active actors. They're still active actresses. They're still in the movie industry. So that kind of throws me off, because I kind of think that any one of these people, or all of them, could be just doing this for publicity, and they're doing it to get more money and more fame. I don't know. That's a bit harsh sounding, so I don't want to say that. That's also very generalizing, so I don't like to say that. It's a possibility. There are plenty of people who have straight up lied about getting raped before. So I'll leave it at this. If Harvey Weinstein did, in fact, rape people, or is raping people, or did rape people, or whatever, if he is raping people, I have one thing to say to him, and it's this. And I'd also like to say to Harvey Weinstein, have fun in the unemployment line, motherfucker. Enjoy being poor like the rest of us. Moving on from Harvey Weinstein, in what is perhaps my most coherent and straightforward and most well-done podcast episode to date, we're going to move on to everybody's favorite segment of the podcast, American Idiot. Segment of the podcast that I sometimes do, that I'm going to do, where we talk about all the stupid shit Donald Trump, or his followers, as I like to call them, have done. But this is less about Donald Trump and more about his followers in general, or anyone associated with him. So, I'm sure we're all aware of the Russia scandal stuff, even if you're not political, which, if you're not political, if anyone's listening right now that's not political, that doesn't care about politics or whatever, you can skip to this timestamp to bypass this segment altogether. But for those of you who enjoy this segment, or find this segment funny or whatever, so you've probably all heard of the Russia scandal, where there's claims that Russia influenced our presidential election, which wouldn't be entirely out of the question, given the fact that we all saw the results. I've not really followed too much into the Russia scandal and stuff like that, but I recently heard that a couple of Donald Trump's former advisors, and I say former because Donald Trump fires somebody every fucking week, as if he thinks he's still on The Apprentice, which is the joke everybody makes. You're fired. You're fired too. Get the fuck out of here. I am best Trump. Because he refers to himself in the third person, apparently, from what I've seen. Or apparently several of his former, advisors and cabinet members have been officially charged with various crimes. I don't know what all, because I don't really care. And all they had to do was act like decent human beings, and they wouldn't be in this position. And if they actually just knew what the fuck they were doing, which is my main problem with Donald Trump and any of his followers. I just truly believe they have no idea what the fuck they're doing. Those people are not fit enough to run a country, especially a country as big as ours. No other world leader does what Donald Trump does, other than Rodrigo Duterte, who is the president of the Philippines. He and Donald Trump are the only two people that truly don't seem to give a fuck about being a decent world leader. Let's see. There were also some white supremacist rallies held in Tennessee. Or rather, there were, but there were supposed to be two, but those cocksuckers canceled on the rally in Murfreesboro. Which, I don't live in Tennessee. I live in Alabama, below Tennessee. But I do know that Murfreesboro is actually a relatively large city. Matter of fact, I think Murfreesboro has the same population as Birmingham. I think Murfreesboro, Tennessee is just as populous as Birmingham. Matter of fact, I think it's the third largest city in Tennessee, after Memphis, Nashville, and so there's supposed to be two rallies, one in Murfreesboro and one in Shelbyville, which is like some small or smallish kind of city in Tennessee somewhere. So they did end up holding the rally in Shelbyville. They held that rally, which turned out to be a clusterfuck for the white supremacist people. But they called off the rally in Murfreesboro because they claimed Murfreesboro was too much of a liability, which I take it to mean a couple of them went to Murfreesboro, saw that the police in Murfreesboro were actually fucking serious, and chickened out. There's too many cops up in this bitch. We going to Shelbyville. Fuck this shit. And they did. I think I read that there were only 200 white supremacists, but 700 counter-protesters. Basically meaning the white supremacists were outnumbered almost 3-1. I believe they were outnumbered almost 3-1. So you can imagine they probably shit their collective white panties when they came up on that. After what happened in Charlottesville, we need to do something about these white supremacists. Because how can white supremacy be legal? No one race is better than the other. We're all equally as doomed is the word I'll use. I think doomed is a good word. I don't know whether this was in Shelbyville or Murfreesboro, but at somewhere, or it might have been Nashville, I don't know, somewhere in Tennessee, a bunch of white supremacists started harassing a interracial couple, and that turned into a whole clusterfuck. That happened over the weekend. Didn't turn into anything. It didn't get nearly as bad as people were thinking it was. So that's good. Maybe this will be a lesson to these fuckers. Maybe this will be a lesson to them that white supremacy isn't very popular. Maybe this will teach them, okay, maybe we should just give up now. Maybe we should just give up now while we got the chance. These people don't give a fuck about us, but they probably won't actually think that. They're probably just angry that nobody supports them. They're angry that they don't have enough support, so they'll do some crazy shit to get it. There was the terrorist attack in New York City, as the NYPD is officially calling it now. Some Uzbekistani, as in from Uzbekistan, which is actually a country. They are an actual country. They're in Central Asia, next to Kazakhstan, which is also a country, and which are all former Soviet republics. They're all part of these countries were all part of the Soviet Union, by the way. Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, whatever the fuck you call it, and others. These were all Soviet states back in the 80s and stuff. So the guy was from Uzbekistan, so he was Muslim, because Uzbekistan is I believe it's 88% Muslim, and he was Muslim, I believe. So yeah, he basically proceeded to drive a car through a bike path and run over a bunch of people, I believe is what it said. I believe the last I checked, it had killed 8 people. And injured several dozen, I think, or something like that. But rather, I guess, fortunately or unfortunately, the crazy motherfucker who did it is still alive. Apparently the NYPD shot him, but didn't kill him, so he's still alive. So they basically shot him and then took him in. Because now, of course, this is going to be used to... Everybody in the U.S. is going to use this as an excuse to be racist and do horrible, horrible shit to Muslims and do other horrible, horrible, despicable shit. And I'll just say this. So there are quite a few Muslim who go to the college that I go to. There's quite a few Muslim people that go to the college I go to. And I'll say this. If I ever happen to be walking to a class or walking from class or walking to one of the other buildings and I happen to see somebody trying to assault or murder or attack in any other way one of those said Muslim students, I'm going to fucking stop them. At this point, I don't really care if I get fucking killed. I could stop and call the police, but by the time I get done with that, who knows who could be dead in that situation. So if I ever see somebody attacking a Muslim person, I'm going to fucking stop them. I don't really care at this point. I'm not going to stand by and watch somebody else kill somebody. Not going to happen. That's what I wanted to say on that. I don't know, I feel like this is turning more into a news... This is more like a news podcast where I'm just restating news. But this is all stuff I wanted to talk about. And that's where I get most of my inspiration for what I want to talk about. I get it from whatever happens to happen to me or whatever I happen to hear over the said week that I'm recording this. So yes. So I think that'll do it for this week's episode. Oh, and by the way, I hope you all liked how I used the Cannibal Holocaust music for my Halloween-themed podcast episodes. Hope y'all found that funny. And if you like this episode of the podcast, you guys on SoundCloud can obviously listen to the fucking track. Oh, sorry for that. That was very aggressive. I apologize. But that's in order. Like the track. I believe you can like the track. Comment on the track, even though nobody does that, which I can see why. and other things on SoundCloud. And you guys on YouTube can thumbs up the video, thumbs down the video, comment on the video, comment horrible, horrible shit on the video, if you'd wish, and other things. And I'll see you guys in next week's episode. Alright guys, I'll see you all later.